Welcome back to Money in the Bank with Frank. Today I'm joined by Joey Levy, founder and CEO of Betr. He's building a company that has taken their previous experience and shift-changing what a modern sports and gaming platform can be. Betr started with a simple idea: make the experience faster, more intuitive, more social, and more fun for the next generation of fans. But as you'll hear in this conversation, the vision is much bigger than one product. Joey and his team are building what he describes as a super app for real money entertainment, combining picks, sportsbook, casino, arcade, rewards, and soon prediction markets into one connected wallet and user experience. We talk about customer acquisition, what they're doing there, cross-sell, product velocity, regulation, the move into prediction markets, and how Betr is positioning itself against a much larger legacy competitor. Joey's a repeat founder, a Peter Thiel Fellow. He's a serious operator and someone who clearly thinks in systems, product, distribution, compliance, and culture all working together. This is a conversation about sports, gaming, fintech, media, and entrepreneurship, and it's very much about what it takes to build a big company. Here's my conversation with Joey Levy, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks. Joey, thanks for joining me on an episode of Money in the Bank with Frank. I little bit of a fanboy because I've seen, some of the stuff that you've done over the period of your short, long entrepreneurship journey. And it really fascinates me that you've had to kind of invent along the way. Like, you want to work with, and you've always wanted to work with the end user. You wanted to make your user interface for like the end user super easy, but that needed some things to happen before you could actually get here to Betr, right? Like, you had, I forget what the first company was, but then Simple Bet, and now you're able to actually tie all those things that you built before together in a better way, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been, I guess now it's been like a 12-year journey of kind of trying to solve similar problems and founding 3 companies along the way. But yeah, I mean, I'd say like, my last company, Simple Bet, I called the company Simple Bet because the intention behind the business initially was to simplify the betting experience for casual fans who didn't really understand what like -175 money lines meant, or plus 3.5 point spreads, or 49.5 O/U, and didn't want to interact with like a product that felt like a spreadsheet. And so kind of like the initial vision I had with Simple Bet was to build like the like the Robinhood of gambling, like
Mhm.
basically what Robinhood did to like day trading and,
Mhm.
E-Trade, Fidelity, Charles Schwab. They just really simplified the user experience. So that's why I started Simple Bet, and started working on Simple Bet as a project almost like 10 years ago. And we kind of formally incorporated um, 8 years ago. And basically what happened was, very shortly after we started working on it, the US market opened up, and we realized that nobody had built back end technology to enable in-play betting on US sports in the way that it needed to be enabled, specifically around micro markets,
Mhm.
which are, basically enabling people to bet on like pitches and at bats of baseball games, or
Right.
plays and drives of football games. So we were still focused on like D2C user experience, but when we went to these B2B providers and realized that they didn't build it, we had to build it ourselves.
Right.
And that's when we realized that, it would be a big opportunity to just license it to everybody. And we also just operationally really struggled with this idea of having like a technology focused business, kind of pioneering and inventing micro markets for
Mhm.
US sports, and then at the same time operating a really expensive user, or like direct to consumer business, um, especially with kind of like no inherent distribution advantage.
Mhm.
So we pivoted to B2B early on in the company journey, and ended up having a good outcome to DraftKings.
Mhm.
But I was able to spin Betr out of Simple Bet, and Betr really initially was just the direct to consumer
Mhm.
spin out of Simple Bet. It's become like way bigger than that, and
Mhm.
it's become a big company. But spun Betr out of Simple Bet in like mid to late 2021 and really, started going after it and founded the company in 2022. And that's what I've been working on since. But yes, I mean, it's kind of all started with this idea that like whether it's sports betting or fantasy sports, the user experience has always felt like there's a lot to be desired, particularly with respect to more casual fans and the mass market consumer, and this idea that you could expand the TAM. So I've just been focused on solving that problem, but have done some stuff along the way, and it's been a lot of fun and still very early on here.
Yeah, it's fascinating that you have those, like, 5 different segments. I never thought to put those together, but they're kind of the natural things that you might consider being able to bet on that, isn't in the mainstream. Like, I just have never seen or thought of anybody betting on games, like, arcade games, so
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
and then
yeah.
it got me to thinking, like, are those the same people that are currently utilizing betting apps?
Yeah, there's definitely some overlap, but there's also some opportunity to acquire customers into the ecosystem that maybe you otherwise wouldn't have acquired. So
Mhm.
I guess just to like walk you through how we're seeing it. So like,
Yeah.
so Pix is a really strong product for casual sports fans, people who very like they just want to dive in very quickly with a simple experience. It's really strong, particularly for NFL and NBA, where there's already like NFL, there's just so much demand around fantasy football already, and everybody knows the players, and they want to, put money behind the players. But then NBA is all like it's all superstar players and like speculation around like how many points they'll have, how many assists they have, rebounds. Um, it's like a great kind of like low lift, get in on the action, player based, really like a strong US product. Um, and also for people like part of what we see is like casual fans, they also like these longer shot outcomes where they could turn a little bit of money into a lot more money, even if the probability of cashing is relatively lower. So, picks is great for that, right? Like with better picks, you could win up to 10,000 times your money if have a variety of long shot selections all right at the at, on the same lineup slip.
Mm,
And then you have Sportsbook, which is a more expansive product where, basically it's focused on teams and betting on teams.
mm,
Um and it just for regulatory reasons, like fantasy as a player is regulated as covering players and sportsbooks a bit different, obviously. So
mhm,
um the but the cross sell, as you can imagine, from picks to sportsbook is very high, right? Because chances
mhm,
are, if you're interested in players, you're also interested in teams.
mhm,
So that's part of why we have those two in there. And then casino is a really is a really powerful product in the sense that like you have first of all, it's 24/7, right? So sports is it's all event based. When you have like NFL Sunday going on, or you have the NBA Finals going on, or World Cup, or whatever's going on,
mhm,
it's a great time to get people in the door. But really, cross selling them over to casino is just where you kind of offer your customers just a lot more to do on a 24/7 basis. And
mhm,
I'm sure you wouldn't be surprised to hear this, but the cross sell between a sports focused customer and a blackjack player is actually quite high.
mm. Yeah.
So then it's like you cross sell into blackjack and you play some blackjack, but then we offer you some free spins on some slots, and now you're playing some slots, and all of a sudden now you're kind of interacting with the entire um, you know, casino ecosystem that we have within the product. And we have live dealer as well. And we're actually going to be launching like custom better studios for live dealers. So it'll be like a better studio where you have like live dealers like dealing you blackjack and you can play roulette and all that. Um so that's kind of how we view cross sell on that front. Um and then arcade is as you can imagine, like quite a bit of overlap between casino and arcade and vice versa. But also like, people who want to use their knowledge on sports to try to make money are also interested in challenging themselves to become, the best player in a particular game and wanting to kind of put money behind that too. So, pretty nice cross sell from the sports business to arcade as well. So really we're just trying to build like this ecosystem where if there's like a fun game or real life event that you want to put money behind, like you could very seamlessly do it on Better. And, we could offer rewards across all the different products. We have a consolidated wallet experience. You don't need to keep just re KYCing and,
Mhm.
putting in all these different payment methods all the time. And so we make it just as easy as possible for you to kind of get in and just engage with all of this.
Mhm. It's, it's interesting. I've been thinking about the World Cup a lot because my wife is a avid soccer fan, and, the tickets have been prohibitive.
Yeah.
Uh, leave it there. But, recently there was the basketball game, and the tickets are still through the roof, right? And I just started thinking to myself, I have to go to the World Cup, right? My wife is an avid soccer fan. I said, "Do you want to bring someone who's more into soccer?" And she's like, "No." So I'm going, right? But in a perfect world, if I were allowed to sell that ticket and just, play on better, I might have a better outcome. But I was laughing because I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I was like, "Look, I did not know that you could actually do some of these micro bets on here in Texas." So, uh, I just asked a friend of mine who I knew was using some of the apps, and I asked him to go on there and mess around with it and tell me what you think. And he said, sign up was a breeze. I linked my bank account with Trustly quickly, was able to
Trustly, yeah.
place a bet within 5 minutes from the app download, intuitive and attractive UI, simple way to explain picks and multiple return on bet, like free picks for 6x. It was easy sharing of bet placed to a friend. And I started thinking, I was like, that's really interesting. So you could actually like your buddy's like, well, what do I bet? You could actually do something like that. Is that how that works?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So Frank, you were saying that you like if you sold your ticket and used that money to bet, what your return would be? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I was like, wouldn't that be fun? Like, what would be like, and I don't know if you even know this, Joey, but like, what was the best payout on that night? Like, multiply that by a $3,000 ticket. You could have had X instead of going to see a game you didn't want to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we've had one user actually on multiple occasions win over $100,000. So I think the first time he turned $100 into 100 grand, and then the second time I think he turned $100 into $200,000. So we do have, and that's just one user, right? So
Yeah,
we do have
yeah,
some really big winners
yeah.
on the app, and so yeah, not to make you feel any worse about that, but there definitely is some opportunity for sure.
No, that's great.
But
That's
it's all
that's
about
good.
having fun, and there's nothing quite as exciting as putting a little bit of money on something and just the entertainment that's kind of derived from, now you're really watching the game a lot closer and you're a lot more interested in it. So
Yeah, dialed in. You've got two ways to motivate man, according to Napoleon, right? Like fear and greed. You want to win that.
yeah,
Put a horse in the race.
yeah,
Um, speaking about funny things, I think I told you I was going to go to the liquidity event last week, so I went to the liquidity event in California, and lo and behold, your co-founder was there, and
yeah, yeah.
I literally got to I I won the right to compete against him in the shotgun challenge, and I deferred. I deferred because I was like, either the fix is in and I'm going to be the number one loser against him, or I'm going to do harm by winning against him and then like, doing my brand harm. so
Yeah.
so
But yeah,
I
no, Jake was out there, and yeah, it looked like a good event.
yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was a good time. But and there was a lot of business that was done there. A lot of people were showing a lot of different things that they were invested in, and the ticket cost was not inexpensive, so people were really motivated to do business down there. So I made a lot of connections. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Uh,
awesome.
yeah. So tell me about recently. You guys. I think I saw in the news a few days ago that you guys actually bought uh, a financial regulated firm.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. We bought an introducing broker.
Where does that fit into the strategy? Does that allow for some regulatory approval that would have been difficult in another way?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we're getting into the prediction markets business. We've, announced this big partnership with Polymarket,
Mhm.
and we plan on, launching our prediction markets product as our fifth product in the Better Super app later this year. And there's a few different regulatory designations or ways you could go to market with prediction markets. And,
Mhm.
I'd say kind of the fastest and lightest lift one is as like a technology like service provider where you're kind of just like taking the markets, displaying them to your users, but you're not really, you don't really have like the regulatory right to like monetize the product other than kind of just passing through what Polymarket's already doing and getting some type of share on what they're doing.
Right.
So it's a good way to get to market quickly, but it's not like the ideal designation from a business model perspective.
Mhm.
Then kind of in the middle, you have this introducing broker model that, better enables the operator to monetize the product, which obviously like we need to sufficiently do to
Right.
have have a business here. And then kind of all the way on the end, you have like a DCM, DCO designation, which is something that we're, we kind of can look at it at some point in the future. But, that introducing broker designation was something that we were really interested in having because, we have a great partnership with a great DCM right now in Polymarket. And, but we want to be able to kind of have flexibility with the product, be able to monetize the product. So being an IB was important. And, we've been in the process and applying for it, but we had the opportunity to just, acquire an existing one, inherit the license, inherit the team as well, who, has a lot of experience with this, which we also value. And it was just it was a good opportunity for all parties. And
Mm.
it just really kind of, I think, just better positions us as a legitimate competitor in the prediction
Mhm.
markets space. So very happy with the deal and excited about it.
No, that sounds great. Having the license and getting an existing business that can scale and already operate with existing staff that understands how to run the business at a bargain without having to worry about execution is key, right? You know, I I learned from many years of experience was which is, experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. So yeah, having a team that already, understands the role and gets it is huge, I bet.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So what do you have next? What do you got? I think you said that you were on track for 5 assets. Have you gotten the 5th one launched? I think the
Yeah.
last time I saw.
Yeah. So so five products this year. The fifth one will be prediction market. So that's not live yet, but
Okay, got it.
we're launching. We're going to be launching that. We're going to be launching that. Sometime this year. But really, what's next is a combination of like one, improving our existing products, and two, launching new products. Right.
Yeah.
And then I'd say three, continuing to build the infrastructure to provide the best overall app experience,
Mhm.
meaning rewards by product, rewards for using multiple products,
Mhm.
a loyalty program, just kind of because we built out this super app, but we really barely scratched the surface of fully taking advantage of the fact that we have all of these different products under one roof, and we have this really great capability and very high product velocity to just launch new products and improve existing ones. So that's really what we're focused on. We have a really great picks business that, we're continuing to add more sports and more markets to. Same with sportsbook, right? Like more sports, more leagues, more betting markets, more features, um, more different ways to bet, casino, more content,
Mm.
jackpots, promo mechanics like free spins that everybody loves. Like there's just a lot we could do there. I mentioned the upcoming plans to launch custom live dealer studio where we're really excited about
That's
that.
pretty neat.
Uh,
That sounds really neat. Like that live touch, funny enough, feels like additional credibility and that additional like kind of like white glove service,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about just providing a really premium, top-notch player experience. I think that's going to be part of it.
Mhm.
Adding more games to arcade, adding tournament mode to arcade so that, you're not just 1v1, but you're maybe 1v10 and the prizes are bigger.
Yeah.
And then prediction markets, as I mentioned. And we're looking at a few other things that, we're not really kind of publicly discussing right now, but like I said, probably two or three new products over the next year or two.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're really, really building out this ecosystem and just really excited about everything that we're building right now.
Mhm. Do you see since I mean you're a multiple founder, serial entrepreneur, is this time around easier, do you feel?
Um, I mean, it never feels easy at all. You're
Mhm.
always dealing with different and new challenges, but I definitely say that like the past experiences are things that I've really learned from.
Mhm.
And I was definitely able to avoid making a lot of the mistakes I made the first and second time around because
Mhm.
kind of like to what you said a few minutes ago, right? Like
Mhm.
if you don't, I guess, get the outcome you want you get experience from it, right? So definitely learned a lot from that, but
Mhm.
learning more every day, but I'm not here to learn, I'm here to win, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
um so just really focused on that. But yeah, I mean definitely like just like anything else, like the more reps you have, the more the better you get at something. So yeah, the past experiences have been incredibly beneficial, and definitely the company wouldn't be where it is today without all of that with all of that experience.
Yeah. I just think that like, once you finally get to the customer facing app, like you've been so driven in that direction for such a long time. Now that you're able to do it, it's like, have you been able to like put plans in place or, to access those customers? Like, is your customer cost cheaper than it was before when you were doing the previous two or, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think so again, like Simple Bet was B2B, so we never really had like the direct to consumer marketing. My first company, DraftPot, we had a really good.
You had to have been thinking about it though at some point. It's like if we pivot into that direction, right? Or no?
Yeah, no, and I think like and this is part of the reason why we like pivoted to B2B was or at least like
Uh-huh.
fully committed to B2B. And I think I said this a few minutes ago, like
Mhm.
we saw an obvious opportunity to build tech for micro markets.
Yep.
And if we went direct to consumer, we didn't have like an obviously
Right.
differentiated distribution strategy, right? Which is why like when I was spinning out D2C and I coincidentally happened to meet Jake along the way and kind of came up with this idea of like incubating this media arm to create like a brand advantage. Like I jumped all over that opportunity because you could have the best product in the world, the most differentiated product in the world, and like you'll definitely get organic growth by like having a great product and being differentiated. But the but distribution is obviously just as important, right?
Mhm.
So with Better, I felt like there was kind of this great combination of like a really strong product focus, but also a really differentiated distribution strategy,
Yeah.
and um and yeah, like as a result of that, our customer acquisition costs have been best in class, likely the lowest in the industry at a pretty good level of scale too, right? So,
Mhm.
you know, this summer and this football season are going to be interesting because we're seeing really great paybacks on our cohorts. So
Mhm.
we're gonna continue to increase marketing spend
Mhm.
until we kind of see the point of diminishing returns on the incremental investment.
Mhm.
But we haven't really seen those diminishing returns for a really long time. So
Mhm.
we're going to keep doing that. We're going to see how much we could scale, but having great CAC is great, but having great CAC at scale is really the name of the game, because
Yeah.
we don't want to build a small business. We want to build a big business. So we got to be able to spend a lot and
Yes.
still maintain good CAC.
Yeah, well, I truly appreciate the time, and honestly, like with the football season coming up and the micro betting coming out, I can't even imagine like what that's going to open up for Better, and I hope for all the best on it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me. And yeah, it was good to be on.